Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rail back with another review, man. Yo, this is Game of Thrones Season 1, Episode 6 review. It's Throne Thursdays. First, I'd like to apologize. I know this one came late, but if you're on the West Coast, it probably really don't matter to you. But if you're in the Midwest, East Coast, my apologies. You probably had to finish this in the morning. But I had a crazy day today and kind of lazy. I don't know. But the one thing I might get this to you late, but the one thing I won't do is not give it to you. Period. So we here. All right, salute to the Discord gang. All those listening to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, salute, and of course you, the viewer. Y'all ready for Throne Thursdays? Let's strap up. Now this one, because I gave last episode 5 and 11 out of 10. I really put it up there. This one was a bit of a drop off in a way, but not crazy though. This was a solid. I mean, because if I gotta compare episode 6 to 5, I'm gonna have to say this one's a 9. This one's a 9 or 8, 8 or 9. Probably I'm moving close to a 9. I'm just gonna stick with 9. You know how I do. I don't like being wishy washy on the fence about it. It's a 9. Okay, I'm leaving it as a 9. Whatever. This one though, this one was a goodie. We had several things going on. This one was really based on King's Landing, okay, and the Dothraki. We haven't seen Jon Snow in a few episodes. We haven't been to the Wall very often. And this and some Winterfell. There was some Winterfell in this. So the three main places, because I feel like Daenerys, you know what I'm saying, the Khaleesi, she was a part of almost every episode. But she either had a big part in it or like little snippets. This one felt like a more evened out, which kind of gives you the illusion, oh, bigger things are happening over there. And that was like one of my favorite storylines. Like right now, like I love the call. I love them having to eat, you know what I'm saying, horse hearts. That shit was wild. But let's get into it. I think the meat of the episode happened in King's Landing and Sky City. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Where's Lando Calrissian? Where Tyrion is. So I think what I want to touch on first is let's do Winterfell. Let's get that one out the way. I'm going to start small, try to gradually go all the way up. So Winterfell, Bran is having those dreams about a third-eyed raven. We know it's something, but we don't know what it is. Bran don't know what the hell it is. But what he do know is Hodor came through with his completed saddle that Tyrion Lannister had made for him. Right? And he's able to ride. He's having a hell of a time. So it's a good feel-good episode. It's not too many feel-good episodes in Game of Thrones. I mean, well, scenes, I should say. Feel-good scenes. Because this episode didn't happen well. But, so Bran's running around. He's ecstatic. And then he gets accosted by the tree people. I mean, like, when you think about, like, you think about the homeless. That Game of Thrones got their own version of the homeless, and they are an intense bunch. Because this homeless is probably the most dangerous. They know the woods. They willing to stab and eat anything. So those are probably the most dangerous homeless people ever. The Game of Thrones homeless is fucking vicious. So they pop out looking like, I don't know what the fuck they look like. They was wild though. And, they jumping up on Bran. One of them cut his leg trying to get the little harness off. He's like, legs don't work. Like, they was clowning Bran. I said, God damn, these are some cold-blooded motherfuckers. They just want the horse and the silver, though. It was, if he had regular working legs, I think it would have been a simple mission. But Bran just had to make things difficult. He had to be strapped in that motherfucker, so they pissed that they even got to go through this. But it leaves enough time for Rob to come up and, save the day. Save his brother. Which he did in impressive fashion. Good murder, slicing throats, stabbing through throats. He was getting busy. He made quick work of him. And then, the head dirty that grabbed Bran got murdered by Theon, right? And then Theon and him had this huge, Rob was upset that he saved him. But I felt Rob on that one. Because when you see Theon shot him through the heart, like dead center chest, probably. If Bran was like, if he had hit puberty, he'd have been big dead. If Bran had, if he was just a little taller, it was over for him. Because that arrow could have caught two bodies real quick. Which was the dumbest form of, like, I get it. Theon did save your brother. But he saved him by not murdering him also. So is that really helping? I just kept thinking, like, why didn't Theon just pull up with the sword and, like, through the back of the head, like coming out through the mouth or something? And I think that shows something about Theon. He talks shit, and he keeps talking about the Greyjoys and how great they are, but really he's soft as hell. I mean, he was over there basically hating on the town's whore for leaving. She's like, fam, I got my money up. I'm about to go to King's Landing where the real money is. I'm done with you northerners and your few shillings. I'm about to go get the real money. I look too good to be up north. And he tight. So he's simping over a whore. Fake tough guy, though. Gave her money for a flash. I was like, come on, man. You were supposed to be better than that. And now, instead of like running up and getting his hands dirty, I don't know. It felt like a coward's type of attack. So that kind of shows you a little bit of the character of Theon right there, which you probably would overlook unless you're looking deep into it. Like, Rob is right there. Hey, unhand my brother. Okay, no, let's get down right here. 3v1, I like the odds. Let's go. Murdered. Oh, okay, now you want to take hostages. Instead of Theon stepping up, creeping up, stabbing him in a place where everybody's safe, he decides to shoot with an arrow. Nigga, I don't remember you being Green Arrow. I don't know how authentic you are with it. And from our recollection, it's the first person he ever killed. You know what I'm saying? He was so thirsty about it, but it came by way of arrow. So I don't know. It just showed Theon's character, right? And but they did also have a discussion earlier, him and Rob, about what he should do about his father. So he was selling those seeds into Rob's brain about, hey, Lannisters done hurt your father. You know what I'm saying? You need to get back. Like, you need to get some get back. And he's talking war. And all it takes is that one person to spark them little thoughts of war and then his own. But yeah, so Rob treated his life, and then that's where we end up. So that's Winterfell. Now let's get on straight to let's go with the Dothraki. All right, so Daenerys is in the middle of this nasty ritual, right? I don't know if that's the actual size of a horse's heart. I feel like that's a Game of Thrones size horse heart, because that thing was fucking huge. That thing, first off, hats off to the Khaleesi for getting that done, because that was huge. And even if it was something that she liked, something delicious, like let's take that away and just imagine, I don't know, let's say it wasn't a disgusting horse heart. Let's say it was just a big, juicy fucking steak, well seasoned by Salt Bay. You know what I'm saying? Prepared to its ultimate form. That's a lot of steak for just one person to down. I don't think I could do it. If it was delicious and I was starving, I don't know I could finish some meat that fucking size. It was like a fucking tomahawk. She had the tomahawk of hearts. And she downed it. Right? And everybody's cheering. You know who wasn't? Viserys. He didn't like that. And then he saw with his own eyes. Like, at first he experienced some of her power when he got wrapped up via neck when he tried to attack her. And now when she stood up, did her little speech, like, it's a prince that rides in me. And she's real. Like I said, Khaleesi's all in. We know that. There's no second thought about that. And Viserys is like your run of the mill hater. Like he hates all of that, and it hit him right there. And that's when him and his conversation with Jorah, he was discussing like, man, when Jorah caught him stealing eggs, because he dipped out of that. He was like, okay, this ain't for me. Nobody's finna listen to me. This is not going the way I want. My sister's not even with me. She's a fucking legit queen. Okay, it's time that I just cut my losses and bail. So I'm not mad at Viserys right now. This is probably the only time I'm not mad at him. When he runs in, tries to steal them eggs. Right? And we know the value of them now. Because when Jorah walks in, like, hey, my man, them ain't your eggs. Sit them down. He explains how one egg gets him a whole boat. 2 eggs get him a boat and an army. And then Jorah's like, yeah, but you took all 3. Yeah, well, I need more army. The fuck? So I'm not mad at Viserys right there. His motivations, his instincts at that moment were correct. If he had the opportunity to steal something that could fund him just a nice little army, little mission of something, then that was the right move, because he ain't finna get it from them. And I don't even think in his most patient moments would that worked out. But we don't know. If maybe he put more trust and fear into his sister, it probably could have worked out for him. But he's a creep. He's a freak. He doesn't, And then he was explaining to Jorah when Jorah wasn't going. He was saying, man, how am I supposed to rule? I've never had that respect that she had up in that hater move. 103. Point out the person that's doing better than you. Like, come on, Viserys. So he's like, you either loved, feared, or you got wealth. And what do I have? He ain't got none of them 3. So he gets desperate. Later that night, everybody drinking, partying. I'm pretty sure Daenerys, when that whole scene was over, she threw up everything. Like her and her little slave chicks was holding her hair. Ain't no way she kept that shit down. But she put on a good front. But I know, like, if there was like another scene, if it was like a deleted scene, it'd have been her back at the hut privately and the girl's holding her hair while she gives up all that shit back. But they out there partying, drinking and shit. And they just having a good time. Just a good Dothraki time. Without murder, by the way. So I guess it's not the best time they could be having. But they're having a really good time. Very safe. Very safe. And in walks a drunk ass Viserys. And when he pulled that sword out, that's when you go, yes, you fucked up. And Jorah tried to tell him. He said, hey, man, put that sword away. You putting us all at danger, fam. Because I was here for you. So I'm like, I'm like your friend in this thing. Just put it away. Let's be cool. And Viserys had I don't know who told him this. I don't know where he got it from. Dothraki don't spill blood. And they sacred. What? What? Dothraki? They consider horses sacred. And just made his pregnant wife eat a whole horse heart. What's sacred, my guy? You clearly misread the manual. So he comes through threatening his sister, threatening the baby, talking about cut it out, leave it to him. On some nasty, on your run-of-the-mill, sicko, Viserys shit. How he gives it up. Calls like, okay, I'll get you a crown. I agree. Just step away from my wife. And Khaleesi, when she translated, in her eyes, her brother was dead to her right then and there. When he pulled that sword out and threatened her child, that's where the ties were broken. She'd been holding him down, saving his life. Not this time. He said too much, knew what time it was to get his crown. A crown that would make all men tremble before it. Held him down, and I gotta say, that's a hot ass pot. And who would eat? Okay, well, I'm just gonna call bullshit real quick. So that pot that they used, it was making a stew. It was an undone stew too, because it was still on the fire. I guess it wasn't ready. However, that shit was so hot that it melted gold in, I don't know, 48 seconds. Thing one, that stew been done. Whoever the cook is, they're fucking trash. All flavor has been cooked out of that fucking pot. That shit's way too hot. Any pot that can melt gold in a minute, and this ain't cheap gold. This looks like thick gold. That can melt it that fast. The food has been done. just like black folks to overcook something. You know, Dothraki is probably the closest thing you're going to get to black. But just like some black folks to not trust the directions and be like, oh, let's add a few extra minutes. Always got to overdo something when it comes to cooking. You ain't going to get us. That stew is done. It's been done. But anyway, gold melted down. Boom. Poured over his head. And I like that death. There's very few moments that the people you hate catch a satisfying death. Very few times. Sometimes they trip or fall, do some dumb shit. You like, really? This how this motherfucker dies? Really? Viserys' death was poetic. It was beautiful. I was very satisfied. High five everybody out there. High five. Slap hands. Melted his dumb ass with molten hot gold. And low key, I'd have cut his shit off because that gold still spins. Am I the only one who thought that? Like, man, I know this motherfucker ain't walk out with that head attached. Like, they might have dragged him outside. Somebody smartened up and chopped the rest of that off and was like, I'm just going to put this in my Duffy. Set up in there. But so Viserys is out the picture. Now it's the Khaleesi Daenerys show out there. Now let's go to Sky City. Right? The Vale. People of the Vale. There's our boy Tyrion in trouble, sleeping, almost rolled off. I was like, yeah. When I seen him do that, the way I know I sleep, like my daughter, she'd have been gone. My daughter would have rolled the fuck up off of there easily, especially when she was like 3. When she was 3, I used to wake up with a whole child on my head. So if she would have been up in that prison that Tyrion was in, fall asleep, that was it for her. Boom, done, over. I know a lot of y'all would have been dead. But Tyrion gets his ass beat by somebody that's not even that much taller than him. Was it Morg? Morg comes in. Oh, man, stop talking. Beating the shit out of him. That was our little comical thing. But Tyrion, being the genius he is, he's like, you know what? I'm not spending another night in this death trap. I'm tired of this creature beating me with the world's first billy club. This shit is over it. It's above me. He had the one thing he could play. He said, you know what? I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to confess. May do send a message and say, hey, you got some gold in it for you. Whole plan was to get there just to confess no crimes, but to upset. See, Tyrion's whole motive was to get her so upset that she would agree to whatever. So he started off with all these things when he was 7 and 10, making everybody laugh. It was hilarious. The little kid wanted to know more of the story. I thought that was funny. And then when they said, you're here because you've been charged with the death of my husband and you've been charged with trying to kill my nephew. And he's like, oh, those? Oh, I have nothing to do with that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that pissed her off so much because once you get somebody emotionally involved, whether it be anger, whether it be love, you have some form of control if you get them that emotional about something. So he gets her very angry. And she's ready to enact justice right now, which is what he wanted. And he said, okay, if we're going by the King's Law, y'all agree, we're all doing King's Law, cool. How about we do a trial by combat? Everybody think it's a joke. Why would anybody? That's what let me know that those people up there were fucking stupid. Either they really thought that nobody would step up for him or they really truly thought that he was going to fight for himself. I didn't see where they saw that. Like the knight that said, oh, I would, but he's such a half a man, I wouldn't even feel right doing that. And then Tyrion's like, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't feel right with you doing that either. That's why I'd like to get a champion. My brother, fuck you talking about? Jaime Lannister, send a crow. I don't care. I can wait. Put me back in a cell as long as Jaime come. And that was his ultimate plan. And that ultimately went to shit. The lady said, nope, we're having it right now. This is what you asked for. So she thought she had the ups. And Tyrion has been laying them seeds all the way from the road here. Lannisters pay their debts. We're the wealthiest. Somebody help me. And your boy Bronn steps up. And what did he tell her after he won? She was like, you don't fight. You don't fight with nobility. He was like, no, I don't. But that motherfucker I just killed, he did. And that was a good lesson. The most honorable and the most noble man doesn't always win. Ned Stark. That was like a foreshadowing of Ned Stark. Somebody too noble to murder an imp, and too honorable to not run and be elusive, and you know what I'm saying. Sometimes winners, you can lose. If a motherfucker's here to win, that's what winners win. Bron got that. I love how Tyrion was like, showed his chains. He's like up to like, get these things off me. Then he got real smug. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Tyrion's whole storm out. He ain't cuss nobody out. He ain't freak out. He said, get these fucking chains off me. My man with the sideburns tied together with the nastiest beard sideburn combination I've ever seen in my life. I believe you owe me something. Right? Drops his gold, then he hands it off to Morg. Like, hey, I told you Lance to pay their debts. And he marched off with the only pimp walk he had. Him and Bronn. Gone. And right then and there, Lady Stark looks like a fucking idiot. Nobody, and that's another honorable thing. Do you think if the roles were reversed, they were in Castle Rock, Tywin Lannister is the one, somebody says, hey, trial by combat, and they win, who believes that Tywin would just let them walk out? Let the one thing that's keeping my family alive, the one hostage I have that is keeping all Lannisters at bay, probably keep my kids alive, because they know if something happens to them, if anything happens to them, it happens to their brother. It is no way that they would just let him march out of there. But Lady Stark was dumb and let him do that. Like, she was wrong. We all know she was wrong. But she was even more wrong by not going completely wrong. Like, dropping the nobility and saying, yeah, I know you won, Tyrion, but you still can't go nowhere. All right, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. You're still my hostage. We'll work out some other living arrangements. But I must insist. You know how they always insist. I would just did that. But yeah, Lady Stark's dumb. Just going to let him walk out? Like, now what? Where's your leverage? You just let your leverage walk out the door. I thought that was dumb. Now to the meat of it all. King's Landing. Ned is in the bed sweating and shit, trying to get over being stabbed. Jaime apparently ran away to Castle Rock. And Cersei is hot under the collar. She storms in with Robert Baratheon. And they got some words for Ned. Now, Robert is a triple OG. Ned is his brother. It's no way he's listening to the wife that he hates. He's not going to kill Ned. He's not going to kill his family. It's not going to happen. So y'all going to either dead this right now, or I'll do it for y'all. Either way, it's not going to end with Ned's death. And that's why you got to love Robert Baratheon. You just got to love him. And Cersei's talking about how he was drunk and left a brothel. Reaching. So she's doing all this until Robert just had to slap her. And it was then he knew. He was like, fuck Kingly. He said, oh, I regret slapping her, because what I did was not very kingly. No, that wasn't what you was thinking. His subconscious is telling him, fuck, I broke that invisible fourth wall. Because what them two had with each other was a game of wits. I hate you, I try to undermine you. You hate me, you try to undermine me. This is what we do. But never do we get physical. Never do I feel like I'm threatened or I'm not respected. You at least respect me in a disrespectful way. I don't know, as an enemy. You respect me as your most respectful enemy. That was what Cersei and Robert Baratheon's marriage was. And when he slapped her for his mans, because she just kept talking too much, he broke the fourth wall, like that thing that they didn't cross. He says kingly, but now he has introduced violence. And you don't introduce violence to Cersei, because then you fucked up. Cersei's going to have the last laugh. And that was all she needed. She stormed out without another word to say, and Robert immediately felt like shit. He knew he fucked up. He may not know how bad, but he knew he fucked up. And Ned is right back to being the hand, but the Lannisters and the Starks are at it. So it may not be a full blown war yet, but it basically is. It just ain't written down. It just ain't on parchment. So Ned has to go be the king for the day while Robert goes clears his mind and goes hunting. He got to go kill something. Him and his arguing with his brother really wasn't too much. His brother was trying to flex on him like, I could be a better king. That was all that conversation was. So we wouldn't even have to go out there. But the Lannister boy, his squire, was out there giving him wine and shit. So that's something to look out for. That was a nasty situation. But he, the fancy dude, the knight, I don't know. You could trust him, I guess. I didn't have no beef with him. But the real meat of this came when Littlefinger just fucking puppeted Ned. This is the first time Ned just looked like a goddamn clown. And I thought he had already put the hair thing together, but apparently he didn't. So when he sat down with the book again, before coming to the courts or whatever, he realized that, Joffrey is not Robert's son. So who is? So I was like, you just not put that together, bro? I thought you been got that 2 episodes ago. So maybe I was crediting Ned with too much. Or maybe that was for us, the fans, to be like, if y'all motherfuckers ain't caught it by the episode 5, let's just spell it out for you here in 6. Black of here, black of here, black of here, gold of here. You guys got it? I'm like, yeah, I got it. Did Ned not get it? I'm looking at y'all. Did y'all not get it? Okay, we're square here. Okay, let it go. But here comes people talking about House Tully. Some people then came through, ransacked the village, cut up dead fish or something. I don't know what that means. But they fucked up the village. Cutting heads off of horses, all type of shit. Like, somebody just decided to run amok. All the while, Littlefinger's like, hey, Ned, let me talk to you. House Tully, ain't that your wife's house? Oh, interesting. Ned's asking some more questions. Able to cut a horse off with one swing? Hey, Ned, let me talk to you. Littlefinger here. Don't that sound like somebody we know? Who do we know strong enough to kind of get this thing done like that? Just like outwardly, it was just sad. Then he goes, and then Ned, wait, one more time. I know you're busy. One more time. What would you think would motivate the Mountain to do this? House Tully, your wife. Did your wife do anything wrong to maybe the Lannisters? And I'm just like, Ned, you're not seeing this? Are you just, and I'm like, Ned is dumb. At first, I was like holding it down. I'm like, Ned's not dumb. He's been investigative. He's just kind of slower to things. But I'm like, the way Littlefinger outwardly was just like, this had to be the easiest shit Lord Baelish ever had to do, was convince Ned to crash out. So in this, Ned's like, you know what, Littlefinger, you're right. I've come up with this plan myself. Like, okay, we're going to banish Sir Gregor. We're taking his knighthood. I want 100 men to go get him. I was like, yeah, nigga, you gonna need 100. You gonna need 100 to go get the Mountain. That might not be enough. And then when he was doing all that, he took one step too far. It was supposed, and I think Lord Baelish didn't even know that it was finna go to this level. Like, Littlefinger thought he was gonna have to slow roll Ned. Like, okay, I'm gonna set Ned up to really piss off the Lannisters, and then I'm gonna go listen to what the Lannisters gotta say, and then maybe try to fuck Ned over, and then he had a month worth of fucking over Ned Stark. This was like thing 1 for Littlefinger. He had a month-long plan. But his shit got shortened to maybe days the second the words, hey, matter of fact, not only do I want to come after the Mountain, but tell Tywin Lannister to bring his ass here. Bring your ass here, boy. He got a couple days to answer for this, or he's an enemy of the goddamn crown. And he agrees to all this nonsense. I said, oh shit. And I know Littlefinger was like, oh, clutching pearls. I thought I was going to have to take a month to get to this level. Checkmate. Enter chat Tywin. Now we get to see the wealthiest man. And only one person said something. And that was the Proctor dude on the side. He's like, hey, I don't know, bring Tywin in here. And then even Littlefinger was like, I mean, that's the wealthiest man in all the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to do this? He's like, fuck that, bring Tywin out. So he's setting up for a very extra spicy episode 7. Can't wait for Tywin to come in. I saw a lot of y'all salute to Tywin. Y'all was rocking with him in the comments. So I'm not the only one. I mean, Tywin's an amazing character, and I'm excited to see him come in the fold. Bad news for Ned, though. Because now, if you thought you had problems with motherfuckers before, you ain't even master manipulator. Tywin Lannister entering the chat next episode. Woo. Should be a goodie. But yeah, that was episode 6. Again, sorry I'm late, but I might drop something extra for y'all tomorrow. None of y'all mentioned anything y'all wanted for me to do for Fan Fridays, Fan Choice Fridays. So I guess I'm going to just make some content that I've been wanting to do, that I just seen. So that's what I'll do. But until next time, man, protect your health, yourself, your wealth. Your boy Rail is out of here, man. Oh, wait. Join the Discord description. Peace.